Hello, hello. I'm so glad to have you here. My name is Beth Benchman. I've gone through a couple iterations, so you might know me as Second Nature Health Coaching. You might know me as Spiritual and Intuitive Wellness. You might know me as the Energy Lady. You might just also know me from the community as a homesteader and a community involved person. But I just want to welcome you guys here today, and I'm so glad that you're here. I am really excited to share with you this new offering that I've got. So, one of the things that I have been working with a lot of people on, and I get a lot of questions about, is this feeling of being lost, right? Of feeling like I'm living in this world, I'm trying to do what I feel is right, and I've kind of reduced some of the noise from my world. So maybe you don't watch as much TV as you used to, or you don't watch the news, or maybe you kind of avoid the reality TV shows, things like that. You're kind of working through this, awakening is what I think it is. I think a lot of us are awakening to the sense that we have a higher calling, a higher purpose, that we are here for something more than the day to day. And, I think it's kind of an age old question. Why are we here, right? Why do we show up on this planet? Why do we have these children and these jobs? And what's the point, right? What's the point? And so, the further you get along in that journey, it kind of tends to happen to us, I think, also as we get a little bit older, as our kids start to grow up a little bit. But this feeling of unrest, right? We're feeling maybe a little bit like something's missing. And yet our day to day life is really, really good. And so we feel maybe ungrateful, right? Or we think that we're being ungrateful. We feel guilty for feeling frustrated, things like that. And you start to think like, maybe I'm depressed, or maybe I need something. Maybe I should go see my doctor. Maybe I should go see a therapist. Maybe. Or it's just what's wrong with me, right? You might just be saying, what is wrong with me? Why am I being so ungrateful? And so, I think a lot of us realize like, if you're depressed, totally go see a doctor, go see a psychologist. But for a lot of us, it's just more of an unrest, right? It's maybe, just feeling a little bit repressed, right? So our true selves, who we are, is kind of stuck under what we've been told that we are over the years, who we've grown up to be because we think it's who we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to do. And now all of a sudden you're getting to this point, maybe, where you feel like there's more to me than this, right? There's more to me and there's more to life than this, than what I'm doing in my day to day life and what I'm experiencing. And so that's where I kind of come into the picture. Is people come to me and they say like, what do I do about it, right? Like, can I just become a new person overnight? Well, you can, right? It's hard, especially if you've got spouses, if children, you're involved in your community. It's really hard to just become a new person overnight, even if you're able to get rid of some of your old habits and things like that. So, usually it's more of a gradual shift into just starting to own who you are, right? And so that's what I want to work with you guys here in this program, is how to own your life with love, right? And so own your body, own your life, own your story, and do it with grace and love and appreciation and gratitude and all of that. And so I put together this little booklet for you guys. And I'm going to go over here. So I'll screen share here in just a little bit. But what I want you guys to do is just spend a couple minutes with me. I'd like to share just a little bit about who I am and how I got to be here, why you should even listen to me. I'm just a mom. I'm just a human being. I've been doing this journey just like you have. I like to think, and I've been told by a lot of people since I was very young, that I have an old soul. And so I sometimes seem older than my years, and sometimes I seem quite immature. And I think it's because age is just kind of an arbitrary thing to some degree, I guess. My soul is old, so I think sometimes people think I'm older than I am. And then I act my age, or maybe I'm a little immature. I don't know. And people are like, oh, what's that about? So here's a little bit just more about me. At this point, at the time of this recording, I am 38 years old. I have spent pretty much my whole life really interested in the environment and holistic living. That doesn't mean that I've always um, lived a holistic life. I grew up in modern, normal, middle America, Midwest society. So, um, I was interested in the environment, but not really necessarily food aware and some of those things until more recently. But I was always interested in the environment. And so when I was about 12, I started volunteering at this amazing place called the Center. And we taught people, a lot of inner city kids, about where food comes from and how to work with the earth and some of that sort of stuff. And I went on and I went to school and got a bachelor's and a master's all in biology and environmental studies, and worked as a public educator teaching people really more deeply about how taking care of the earth has place in our day-to-day lives, right? So it can be a very altruistic, I'm going to take care of the planet type thing, especially like when you're in those high school and college years. It's a very altruistic things sometimes. But as we get older and we start to deal with finances and raising families and stuff, sometimes it doesn't seem so practical to make the extra trip to recycle or buy the organic foods or whatever it happens to be. And so I started getting more and more interested, especially after I started having kids and my kids started to suffer with some health problems. um, of looking at how this stuff does affect us in the day-to-day life, whether it's the things we're bringing home or just the things that we're throwing away, and how that all impacts us on a very personal level, even on a cellular level. And so I started getting into that, um, got into working with cosmetics and natural skincare, went on to become a holistic health coach, did a lot with nutrition, and then got into mental health because that's really a passion of mine. I struggled a lot with I still do, with my mental health. And so really wanted to look at how our the products that we bring into our homes, like the plastics and some of the chemicals that are in our cosmetics, are really affecting, not just our physical health, but also our mental health. And same thing with our foods. Some of those ingredients, some of the pesticides. How those affect the brain as well as the physical body, I thought has been really important to me. And so I spent a lot of years working on mental health aspect of things. And one of the things that I kind of realized over the years of doing all of that is there was still something missing, right? Just like you guys are experiencing now, there's still something missing. And so as much as I was taking care of myself and taking care of my family, I realized that there was still something missing. And so after going through a series of, sad and tragic and just hard events in my life, I got introduced to energy work. And, at first I kind of thought, oh, it's just carny psychic, people are weird and they, or some people are just really good at reading people. It's all psychology, or, I came up with all these excuses for why some of this stuff works. And then I started having visions and hearing things of my own. I thought, oh, I'm just going crazy. um, and the more I got to know people and the more I started playing with these abilities that I had, I realized this is real and this is really important. And it's the missing piece in this wellness picture that, we're all kind of, I think, striving for. And so there's this huge push, I think, at least in the US, and I think pretty globally, on being healthier and what are these GMOs and all this doing to us, and oil spills and all this stuff that I think people are getting more and more concerned about and aware of. And that piece, though, that after they take care of all of these other pieces and they feel like, "God, I'm doing everything, but something's still missing," I think, is that energetic piece. And so that's where I have been spending a lot of my time and my energy, on working and sharing and trying to help educate people on this spirituality piece, this piece of energetics, and how we're all connected and how energy works and how it affects us on a daily basis, and the choices that